This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
A total disaster. I'm more fired up than I've been after a Tigers game this year. It's the worst loss of the season. Ownership has quit on this team. The general manager has quit on this team. And you have a first place ball club with no bullpen. What a depressing night to be a Tigers fan. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Reitman. I'll try to keep it together tonight. No promises. After the Tigers lose to the Philadelphia Phillies 5-4, the final in this one. This, of course, is your destination for all things Detroit Tigers, and especially post-game reaction shows and the daily show, the Locked On Tigers show with Scott Bentley. Make sure you like and subscribe. Appreciate everybody tuning in. And like I said, it's the worst loss of the season, bar none. It's a depressing night to be a Detroit Tigers fan. Very rarely am I this fired up, but we are very close to coming unglued. Listen, Jack Flaherty was phenomenal tonight. He dazzled. We'll talk about that. We'll try to get through the reaction to this game without me coming unglued, but we do it all next on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. So buckle up, dial it in, fire off your comments because you got to be as fired up as I am. And don't forget that you can find all of our Locked On Tigers post-game shows right here on Locked On Detroit, Locked On Tigers, free and available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course on YouTube. We'll have our turning point and our talking point and everything else, but we begin where we always do, our biggest talking point and how to summarize this. And I just sometimes sports in general have a way of just having the perfect timing. It's the first game after a trade deadline in which Scott Harris and Chris Ilitch and the rest of the organization just punted, just quit on the team. And yes, and I listened to Locked On Tigers, and Scott Bentley did just such a tremendous job of breaking it all down and all the arms that they added. And lo and behold, in one of the most high leverage games you will see down the stretch with a couple of different lead changes, we don't see any of those new arms. So what does that tell you about what AJ Hinch thinks of the additions that were supposed to help this Detroit Tigers bullpen? Not much, because Will Vest is into the game earlier than he's been in months, because the Tigers don't have any good bullpen arms, and the opportunity to add to the bullpen, so it's not the biggest Achilles heel, was just punted on. It was squandered by a front office that doesn't give a damn about winning in this window. And anybody that wants to tell me to calm down, that's fine. But I just would disagree and say, we gotta think for the future. We don't want to jeopardize by trying to win right now. That nerd Scott Harris just had the audacity to gaslight us into saying, I know more than everything else. And let me tell you, we have the best farm system, which is great. That's great. But how about a GD World Series since 1984? And I hope somebody screen records this and posts it on the internet to see how upset I am, because this is a team that every single fan would do anything. They would sell their soul for a World Series, and you just feel it. You feel the window closing and almost like the curtains being slammed shut. And hey, we're the first team to 60 wins. Awesome. Wow. Let's raise the banner. We had a really good first half. That was exciting. Yeah. But when it matters most at the trade deadline, you go out and get a bucket of balls and a washing machine to try to help the bullpen. And in a high leverage game against a fellow first place team, you squander it. You pee down the leg, and there's not an arm in that bullpen that can get guys out in a high leverage situation. So let's get I got to hit a sounder or a graphic or something here. I'll probably get yelled at for that too, get an email, but let's get into our talking about segment.
This is what you'll be talking about.
All right, we're going to be talking about, and maybe you could tune into the FanDuel broadcast and they can hop on balloons and fart in microphones and tell you how great everything is and have some celebrities on there, and we can feel good about our first place ball club. But, man, I'm watching that game tonight. Like, I can't take it. And a team that you love and care about so much to just not have any good players in the bullpen. Aside from Will Vest, who you already had, you just the being so tentative I can't even think of the right words right now, being so tentative and cautious at the deadline, because we don't want to rattle the cage. We don't want to make a bold move to try to win a GD World Series. So I'm fired up. Tigers lose to the Phillies 5-4. Biggest talking point. Let's go down. There's a couple of lead changes, because for a while, I mean, it was a really captivating baseball game. And sure, it was a captivating baseball game the entire way. But after that Bryce Harper strikeout to conclude the 7th inning, where, okay, the game's tied at 3, and you get Wenzel Perez with the clutch home run, you're thinking, here we go, 4-3 Tigers in the 8th. And then it just unravels so quickly. And you just feel it all happening. You could literally feel it happening. I mean, if I was in charge of the betting odds, I would just tick, 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 tick in favor of the Phillies. And then it's over just like that. So frustrating night tonight. But again, I'm sure there's a lot of way smarter people than me that will tell me how much smarter they are than I am. And I couldn't possibly understand what goes into running a baseball team, and why the general manager and president of baseball operations and owner of this team didn't think that it would be necessary to add better players than what they did, and sat on their hands and again collected a couple of washing machines and a bucket of balls and a few extra fungo bats or something we could add to the coaching staff to help this team, because it certainly are not going to be from any of the players. So I'll try to bring the blood pressure down a little bit here and have a meaningful conversation. AJ Hinch is at the podium right now. I'm very curious what he has to say, because again, that's just so telling. And again, shout out to our guy, Scott Bentley, who's just does such a tremendous job. I bookmarked some of his tweets because he's just spot on. And I don't mean to copy off of him, but I'm feeling the same way. And he broke it down. He said, in case you're wondering what AJ's pecking order, the 12th worst bullpen in MLB is after all the trades, and all in quotation marks, first high leverage bullpen usage since the deadline. And so far, it's only been relievers that were already on the team. 2 innings, 5 relievers used, 5 runs allowed. And then, of course, you follow that up with Tigers lose. Every reliever used was already on the team. Your own manager doesn't think you acquired a single arm worth throwing in a close game. 5 relievers used in 2 innings, not a single new addition. And that's it. That's again, shout out to Scott Bentley. I was thinking the same thing. He tweeted it out there, and I wanted to give him the kudos for being spot on. You had 5 different relievers used, and none are any of the new arms. It's embarrassing. It is a joke. I'm sorry I haven't gotten to any of the comments, but I just can't even believe that this has happened to our baseball team. And again, hey, first team to 60 wins. That was amazing. That was great. But you know what? We are going to have the best farm system in the history of the world and just win AA division titles. And maybe there's a Midwest League title that the Whitecaps can win. I don't know what the Midwest standings are right now. My Great Lakes Loons, maybe they're ahead of them, but God bless America. How do you not do something to help a first place ball club that has a chance to win a World Series? So lots of comments. All right. Maybe I'll try to get into them. And again, this is a reaction show, so that's what you're going to get. Maybe I'll get a good night's sleep tonight and say, come back on here tomorrow. You got Skubal going tomorrow, and we'll say, yeah, maybe the sky isn't falling. But right now it feels like the sky is falling. And I just have so much anger towards Chris Ilitch, Scott Harris, and the rest of the front office. I really do. I got to be real with everybody. And that's what you get on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. So let's run through these. Corey says, so glad we didn't pick up any hitters. Kevin Jeffrey says, Scott Harris should be fired Monday morning. Good job fixing the bullpen. Sean Gray says, oh, what do you know? Tigers don't get any good arms for a bullpen. In the first game after the deadline, the bullpen blows it. Again, it's almost comedy at this point. The timing couldn't have been more impactful than the first game after the deadline. Kevin Jeffrey, we need a new general man, and we need a new GM and a manager. I honestly can't fault AJ Hinch on this one. You really can't. He went with Will Vest, like I said, earlier than he had in months. He had no other choice. Demetrius McNeil. I'm going to blame the bullpen for being unable to protect the lead. Come back next game with the ace, Tarik Skubal, on the mound. There you go, Demetrius. I appreciate the positivity. Somebody's got to be positive around here. David Fly, nice outing by Jack Flaherty. Indeed it was. Yeah, shout out to Jack Flaherty when Wenzel Perez and the 3-run bomb from Gleyber Torres. There, we got 3 bright spots that we can at least hang our hat on. And this good point from Sean Gray. Duran goes to the Phillies and gets his first save against the Tigers. Perfect. He was out there. I mean, just again, I think the comments from Scott Harris make it even worse for me, where he's just so convinced that he's smarter than everybody. He's just so convinced that we couldn't possibly, us pagans, us pundits, have any possible idea of what it goes into running a baseball team, and why could we ever possibly want to boost the bullpen that's the clear Achilles heel of this team. All right, here's one from Keen Anvil. This will be the story against good teams the rest of the way. The Tigers are lucky they're in the AL Central. I agree. Gary Van Dekar says Tigers bullpen blows another game. And there's more and more comments to get to. Listen, I think we're all on the same page. Shout out Hannah Banana with she's at least what do you call it when you cover the cuss words? Censoring the cuss words with the S and hashtag. I love it. Bullpen strikes again. Good thing we shopped at the bargain bin and didn't improve at all. That's exactly right. I know my guy Jim Costa was tweeting out the Dollar Tree photo. That's perfect. I mean, it's exactly like, when those that are old enough to remember going to Walmart and they had those DVD bins by the checkout aisle where DVDs would be like $2 and $3 and they'd be, DVDs that were 10, 15 years old. That's what Scott Harris does at the trade deadline here. David Fly, am I crazy, or is it normal to let the go-ahead run advance into scoring position without as much as a soft throw over? That was another point. And another part of that defensively, I understand maybe when it was 3-0 on the sac fly, you're not throwing home. Wenzel Perez in right elects to go to third instead of trying to have a play at the plate. And it's a long shot, sure, but it's still a shot compared to just allowing the run to score with the throw going over to third base. Gary Myers is up next. He says, absolutely terrible. Going to bed before I break something in the house. I hate to say it, but I have no confidence in winning the World Series. Gary, you are speaking for all of us, my friend. That's how I feel. I really did. And I thought this was the year. I really did. And maybe something can happen to change it. I'm way over time. So let's keep the lights on. I'm going to get docked on all the benchmarks of a good Locked On Tigers postcast here. And I'm sorry, but I'm just so fired up. What are we going to do next? We'll have our player of the game, our turning point, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow. It's all next on our live Locked On Tigers postcast. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by our good friends at 5 Hour Energy. Not that I need it. It's time to fuel up and turn up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, that's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Let's be honest, some days on the course, or off it for that matter, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. I can remember hitting some ridiculous shots. It's been a little while, but it gives you that jolt of energy on the course, just like a 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. And you know what? Sometimes those wonky golf courses are even more memorable. The hills, the undulation, all the good views. You know you love it out on the course. There's nothing better. Golf's all about the good times with good people and good flavors, of course. And the grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without chasing down that bev cart girl. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that's the number 5hourenergy.com. You can use my promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. This offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders. Whether you're meeting up with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through it. Order transfusion flavored 5 Hour Energy shots today. Okay, Tigers lose, bullpen blows it, and the front office and ownership has punted on the season. At least that's what it feels like. But Jack Flaherty, got to give him some love. I mean, my goodness, the curveball was excellent. The slider, he used that 33% of the time. The fastball, the four-seamer, used it 41% of the time and was absolutely brilliant in all capacities. It is such a shame he doesn't get that win. Why is it such a shame? Well, in addition to the numbers, you just look at the way he commanded himself out there. 6 innings, just the 2 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts. He whiffed Phillies hitters 13 times. And again, it's just not fair. So I hate to have to do this after a night like tonight, but let's go ahead and get into our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's Jack Flaherty for every reason I just mentioned, and you feel for the guy. You really do, because he deserved a better outcome than what we got tonight. And the front office, the ownership, the entirety of the organization is to blame, because there was an opportunity that was simply not seized out of fear, out of failure to capitalize on a window, out of sustaining a long, I understand all that. That's all well and good. Sustaining long-term success. Of course, we would all sign up for that. But at the cost of forfeiting and punting on a magical season in which you've owned first place time and time again, to where it's becoming more and more clear that you don't have the horses. You don't have the bullpen to be a legitimate contender. And you've got Tarik, Skubal, the best pitcher in the game. You've got a group of gritty guys offensively that obviously could have used a big bat like Suarez or any of the other possibilities that were out there. And you just, again, I don't know how many different ways I can say it. You just didn't even try. And sure, they made offers and everything. Maybe that's not fair, but it's a result-oriented business. It's the highest of the high, the highest stakes of the highest stakes. These guys make so much money. You won't find me feeling sorry for a single one of them, because damn it, it comes with the job, and you failed Tigers fans. You really did. Tigers fans have been failed by this group of ownership and the front office. Lots more comments to get into, and I appreciate everybody commenting now. I'm reading them. Go off, Jake. Yeah, there we go. I appreciate that. And I got a couple more here from my guy Mark. Don't calm down. You're completely right. Please cook. That's how I feel. John Meadows, preach, brother. And you know what? We will at least hang together. And I got, there's probably one more I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, how about our turning point?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
What a perfect sounder to tee it up. This game was lost when the ownership just thought, nah, we don't need anybody. And when Scott Harris said, yeah, well, we got a really good AA team, and I don't want to jeopardize that. And meanwhile, you got the Astros loading up, giving up 3 top 15 prospects to get the left-handed bat that they need, and obviously Carlos Correa in addition to that. And I mean, the Phillies loading up in the bullpen, the Padres, my goodness. Gosh, I would just any of those teams I just named, I would give anything to be. I was talking with a Phillies buddy today, and I just said, you got Dave Dombrowski as your president of baseball operations. I am so jealous. I am so jealous, because that's how it used to be in the Motor City. It used to be Mr. Ilitch spending like a drunken sailor, and not irresponsibly, but just, again, damn it, trying to win. And Dave Dombrowski making every move possible. And there was, no matter what happened, no matter what the result was, when your head hit the pillow at night, you knew Dave Dombrowski and Mr. Ilitch did everything they could to bring a championship to the Motor City. And you just can't say the same about Chris Ilitch and Scott Harris. You really can't. And anybody that wants to try to convince me otherwise, I am all ears. But that's how we're going to end tonight. I'm sorry that it was this type of show, but every now and then there's just a little switch that goes off, and I can't, and maybe I should be better at conducting myself and not coming unglued in the way that I did. But I think Tigers fans deserve better. I really do. I really, really do. And tonight it just boiled over, and it was a testament to everything I feared. And again, it's the first game after the deadline. So screen record, share, make fun of me, egg on my face if the Tigers rattle off, 10-game winning streak or whatever it is. The series isn't over. You got Skubal tomorrow. A great pitching matchup tomorrow with Skubal and Wheeler, and then a little Sunday night baseball as well. So we got a Sunday night postcast. Looking forward to that. But Zack Wheeler, 9-4 in the season, and a sub-3 ERA, and Tarik Skubal, 10-3 on the season, a 2.09 ERA. It's going to be fun. Buckle up, dial in tomorrow. So it's probably going to be a quick game. At least it certainly feels that way. 4:05 Eastern time is when first pitch is set for. So talk to you later. Thanks for all the comments, and I appreciate you guys. Yeah, Bednar's another one. I just see the comments there. Another one. I mean, we could just go on, but it's Friday night. Get some sleep, get some rest. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll try to do better the next time. Tigers, me, everybody included. See ya.